Thank you, Shirley. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm really excited to be here to represent Auburn University. We've put together a nice program for you. So for the next hour, I'm going to try to go over some of the ideas, some of the aspects of Auburn University that we are very proud of, that we would like to share. Okay, the PowerPoint is working. That's a big relief. So we have quite a few things on our agenda. Before I get started, in the back, can you hear me fine? Can you hear me? Okay, very good. So I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about myself, a little bit about my academic experience and why I'm so happy to be here today. I'm going to tell you about Auburn's unique character, why I believe that Auburn provides the best bang for the buck, or the best value for the money. I have quite a few reasons that I would like to share with you. Then I'm going to give you a tour of Auburn University, show you some pictures of Auburn, as though you happen to come and visit with us. I'll tell you about the various colleges and programs that we have. We have 12 colleges and 140 different majors. So I'll try to give you a little bit of an overview of the various colleges and majors that we have and why they provide such value to our students. I'll try to focus on the College of Engineering. Why? Because that's where I'm from. Okay, I'm from engineering. And then I'll zoom in on aerospace engineering because it's my department. And then we'll try to brainstorm, take some questions, okay? So without further ado, just a few words about myself. I started at the University of Utah. That's where I got my degrees. Then I moved to Marquette University. I was the representative and the international faculty advisor. Then for 10 years, I was a chair of excellence at the University of Tennessee, in particular the Space Institute, where we focused on aerospace engineering. Then for the last 2 years, I have been at Auburn University. It's really a pleasure to be back in China. In 2008, right before the Olympics, I spent 2.5 months in Beijing. I was hosted by PKU faculty, and I collaborated with Professor J.C. Wu. And at Shanghai Jiaotong University, there was a professor that is very famous in applied mathematics, Professor Xijun Liao, who sent a delegation to meet with us. We had a great time, and we ended up publishing several papers together. So I'm really fond of China. I've had many good students from China work with me in the past. One of them, his name was Chong Zhou. So whenever we published a scientific article, it was kind of interesting because they put the last names side by side. So his last name is Zhou, and my last name is Majdalani. But if you read the name on every page of the article, it will say Joe Majdalani. So that's myself and myself. It was interesting. My first name was his last name. Okay. Not too funny. So let's talk about Auburn's unique character. It's really beautiful. You're going to see some videos. First off, it was founded in 1856, one of the oldest universities in the US. It's the oldest in the state of Alabama, and one of the oldest in the entire Southeast region. It's considered to be an Ivy League university, meaning when you go to the Southeast, you have Clemson, you have Georgia Tech, you have Auburn, Vanderbilt, the University of Florida. And that's it. Then you drop a level, you're at Mississippi State University, and then you keep dropping and dropping. Okay, so Auburn is considered to be an Ivy League. Somebody who graduates. Historically, graduates from Auburn have really run the show. They have established, they were the first faculty and the first directors and the first presidents and the executive presidents of the other universities in the region because of its age, because it's really a very old university. And it's quite big. It stretches over 7.6 kilometers squared. It's about 25,000 students. We can have 50,000 if we want, but we cap it at 25,000. Do you know why? Because we want to maintain quality. Okay, the quality for us is more important than the numbers. So, again, I totally believe that it provides the best bang for the buck. I have been in my life invited to over 70 universities. I've visited with all of them, some spectacular schools. I've never been in love until I set foot at Auburn. And you'll hear that from some of our students. It's really a fantastic place to live, to work, and to go to school. One thing that is interesting, when I flew here several days ago, I took Air China, and I noticed the logo for Air China. Then I looked at the flag for Auburn University. Gosh, what an eerie resemblance, I said to myself. You know, the curl of the phoenix and the curl of the lantern, you know, that represents knowledge and light illuminating the world. I had to share it with you. I'm sorry, it's not part of the program, but that was... So essentially, students in China are predestined to go to Auburn, okay? And they can fly Air China all the way. Okay, so what is Auburn famous for? For its beauty. I cannot... there was a great philosopher who said, follow beauty and let everything else go to hell. Beauty is in every aspect of Auburn University. Ziyun later on will tell you about her own personal experiences, and she is from Guangzhou. She will, you know, she's been with us for a couple of years, and she will either confirm or refute some of my ideas here. We are known for emphasizing quality of teaching. Despite our very high ranking at the graduate level, we always pay the greatest attention to our undergraduate program. So students that come through our undergraduate program are always very happy, very satisfied. We take great pride in the type of activities that we offer to them. And I'm going to talk about some of those today. We rank in the top 10 colleges in the US with best quality of life, top 10 best places to live by Forbes magazine, US World and News Report repeatedly. And some say that Auburn may be the biggest small college in the United States. It's the largest college in the state of Alabama. It's a small town atmosphere. The town is about 80,000 in terms of size, except when there is a football game. Okay, when there's a football game, the size of the town doubles. Okay, so we're located centrally between Florida here and Nashville, Tennessee, where I used to live for 11 years. And you've got here North Carolina, you've got here New Orleans. So it's centrally located in the southeast, and it's only 1.5 hours away from Atlanta. Atlanta has the largest airport currently, and best of all, it flies Delta Airlines, the best airline. So you can take a straight shot from Atlanta anywhere in the world, direct flights to Paris, you know, to China, to anywhere in the world. And so it's a great convenience. And you have the advantage of having a very safe campus, unlike Atlanta, where many students that go to Atlanta will complain about the campus being very unsafe and very busy, and they don't like it very much. So I'm not going to go over the rankings, but I have several pages of rankings where Auburn is always showing up on the radar list of Forbes amongst the top best 6, best 10, but every time I open my MSN, and there is, you know, MSN puts like the best this and the best that, I repeatedly see Auburn being listed amongst the best 10 places to live or to work or to raise a family. We have the best high school system, so if somebody ends up staying in Auburn, we have a great system for raising families as well. Why? Okay, you know, I mentioned earlier that we provide the best bang for the buck, or private education, the quality of private education at the cost of public education. Why? Okay, one of the reasons is our student to faculty ratio. We tend to have very small class sizes. I tell you, this is not made up. A couple of years ago, I gave an invited talk at the New Mexico State University. They had classes with 120 to 150 students in one classroom. You never see that at Auburn. Our class sizes tend to be very small and comparable to those of Vanderbilt or Marquette, some very expensive private universities. And what makes us different from Georgia Tech, I've had many times exit interviews with our seniors. I interview every single student before they leave and they graduate. They tell you what they love about Auburn is the fact that you're not a number. You're not a number. Every student is known by name. They are known by all of the faculty. They have a sense of belonging. They feel that they belong to a family, what is Auburn, okay? And that's very important to them. That means a lot to them. They get a lot more value from their education that way. And what makes us different from, let's say, a place like Georgia Tech, at Georgia Tech, of course, they are more highly ranked, they have a lot more research funding, but that's not what your undergraduates want. What they want is excellent teaching, teachers who can speak very well, who care about them, and who get them involved in hands-on projects that help develop in them better communication skills, better leadership skills, and helps them really become better, let's say, engineers or businessmen or businesswomen, etc. So that's what we offer, which at Georgia Tech and other places they do not. Okay, we are known for our emphasis on international student exchanges. Students have the ability to travel abroad. I'll talk a little bit about that. Internships, we encourage internships so they have the ability to go work for companies while they're going to school to enrich their experience. And so we have lots of activities. They're highlighted. Some of them are here, but I'm going to get back to them in a little bit. And of course, we have great weather. The weather is just fantastic. You've got really blue sky. I'm talking blue, like the color, you know, like the color of the sky. Right? I haven't seen it except today a little bit since I've you know flown to China. But beautiful weather, and I'll show you some pictures in a little bit. Okay, so other advantages, we have more student centers and counseling than any other university that I have known. The problem with freshmen is that many switch out of their majors because of poor counseling. We try to prevent that by providing personalized counseling. We work closely with the students to make sure that they have a good vision of where they want to head in life, and we help them a lot that way. And Auburn Global has an office, Shorelight has an office now that provides additional counseling that goes above and beyond the traditional type of counseling that we ourselves provide. We also are flexible in major selection. You can kind of customize your own major if you like. If you're interested in going into forestry or turf development and also management, you can get a degree that is a blend from, let's say, forestry or agriculture, the College of Agriculture, and the College of, let's say, business. Okay, you can combine both of them into one major. That's very important. And of course, we have, I mentioned, student counseling and a number of training centers. We are a full-service university. In other words, we are not a 2-year program or a 4-year program. We take you all the way until you get your doctorate in almost every field, and that's very important. Before I continue, can everybody understand me? Or am I speaking too fast? Okay, if anybody feels that I'm speaking too fast, please raise your hand and I will speak more slowly. Okay, I will try to speak more slowly. All right, okay. So Auburn invests a lot of funding in developing and implementing new pedagogical techniques. We have the Big EO Center. Ziyun may tell you a little bit about that if she has time. But we try to implement the latest technologies. And one of the things, if you look at all the research that's going on, they all point in the direction of today being an age of global competition. And in order to remain a leader in this kind of competition, graduates need to have excellent leadership skills and communication skills. It's not just enough for them to know their field, but they need to enrich their experiences, and part of it has to do with travel. The more travel they do, the richer their experience is. And communication skills and leadership skills do not happen overnight. They can be promoted, they can be nurtured through a number of activities, including involvement in societies, professional activities, competitions in regional and state and national competitions. So this is how we develop excellent communicators and leaders that are ready to compete in this global economy that we are living in, and those that are committed really to a lifetime of learning. So, and ultimately, again, in some fields, the interest, you've seen that often from students that we receive from China, they want to become scholars, scientists. They're brilliant, they're very smart, and we provide them with that road to scholarship. And these aspirations that I just described are exactly what employers are looking for today. Employers today are looking for those types of qualities, namely graduates who are committed to a lifetime of learning. Could somebody tell me why? Because we're living in a world that is constantly changing. If you look at all the different fields and technologies, everything is evolving rapidly, so we need to be really committed to that. And of course, leaders who can drive change. And okay, the last slide is about the family creed. Okay, at Auburn we have our own creed, and what is really beautiful about this creed is that it's totally well aligned with Chinese culture. Okay, when I joined Auburn, I thought, wow, I'm at home. This is almost like a poem, if you read it, and I will let you read it. We will provide all the slides. Shirley is going to provide all the slides for you, and it's really the pivot of that creed is that we believe in work, in hard work, and it reminds me a lot of my interest in martial arts. When I was young, I did martial arts, trying to get the black belt in Kung Fu. And you know, Kung Fu, you know what it means. It means accomplishment through effort, you know, if you translate it. So Kung Fu is, you know, we believe in the Chinese culture, this is ingrained. If you look at the Tao Te Ching, it says, neither heaven above nor hell below can deny the hard worker his wages. Okay, so if you work hard, you're gonna be rewarded sooner or later. Okay, sooner or later. So we believe we are a society that believes in hard work. Okay, so enough about Auburn. Let's take a look at some pictures. This is a quick tour. This is Sanford Hall. It's named after William Sanford. It's the icon of Auburn University. Every letterhead from every professor and every department head and every dean and every director carries this icon. And it goes back, it's named after the governor of Alabama in year 1900, okay? This is an aerial view of the campus. It's focused, it's nice, it's not mixed up with businesses and industries, and although we do have some McDonald's and KFC like everywhere else, and Starbucks. Almost every building has now 2 or 3 Starbucks coffee shops. I don't know why people can't live without coffee anymore. This is our famous football stadium, the Tigers, you know. And by the way, the tiger is another Chinese emblem, as you know, the tiger and the dragon. Now, we don't have the dragon at Auburn, but we have the tiger. We have, like, the eagle, okay, the eagle. And so Auburn graduates are known as tigers, you know, they're all tigers. So this is kind of another connection with Chinese culture. Beautiful campus, Ziyun will tell you more about it. This is at night. Oh, by the way, the colors of Auburn are orange and blue. Okay, I'm not wearing any Auburn colors today because Shirley told me wear this nice tie, and it's kind of, this is more like Chinese color, right? The dark red. So I thought, okay.
We have a lot of green and blue today everywhere. If you can see the same colors today, right?
That's right. That's right. So, and the beauty of it, if you are watching a game, if you go to the stadium and you're watching a game, and you'll notice as the sun is setting, the sky will turn into blue and orange. It's really, really pretty. You see it over here, well, not that well, but better than, you know, most towns I've been to since I've flown to China. Okay, but it's really pretty at night. Okay, so this complex is known as the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering. In most universities, and I know some of you have interest in recruiting engineers. In most universities that I've been to, and I've served at several universities, the dean has an office in a building, okay? He may have a floor, he or she may have a floor, an assistant, an associate dean, and that's it. At Marquette, the dean had really an office, and next to him, there was mechanical engineering. To the left, civil engineering. You go upstairs, industrial engineering. So it was just one building. This entire complex of buildings is where the dean is. So all of these facilities are available for student success. Okay, they are focused on promoting students and their success. Now this is the engineering quadrant. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you more about it in a little bit. This is Sanford. We're like, hey, there's Sanford, then engineering, then all the other majors. Okay. So we are right behind the building, because historically when it really started with two majors only, agriculture and mechanics, engineering mechanics. And the building still is written on it, agriculture and mechanics. Okay, so let's talk about the colleges. Again, it's very impressive. 12 colleges. If you can dream of a major, we offer it. I sometimes wonder, like, why do we have this major? But really, you have lots of majors, lots of a variety of fields that you can choose from. So if you're a student, an undergrad, you're still undecided, you know, you're still kind of developing, you're still maturing. Well, you do not get boxed in. If you go into a field and you don't like it, you can really transition into another field that you like better. You're not gonna, some universities are very good at just one thing, but if it doesn't work out, you have to leave the school. Okay, some like take Rose Holman. It's excellent in, say, engineering, but it's only at the undergraduate level. There's nothing else. If you want to go into another field, there's no other field at the same school. So here we are again a full service in every respect. So agriculture, architecture, business, education, engineering, forestry and wildlife, human sciences, liberal arts, nursing, pharmacy, sciences and mathematics, and veterinary medicine. We also have medicine, but at UAB, which is part of Auburn, but it's in Birmingham. So College of Agriculture, again, is very famous, especially in the areas of fisheries and aquacultures. How to really take care of your surroundings, of fish, how to promote, how to cultivate them, how to manage them, and also agriculture is very important. How to deal with poultry, like chicken, fruits and vegetables, turf, grass, trees. Very important major. The other major, which is closely connected, is the College of Forestry and Wildlife Sciences. Again, has to do with animals and forests and how to upkeep them, how to maintain them. The College of Veterinary Medicine, everything that has to do with the health of animals. You become a doctor of veterinary medicine. In the US, that's very important. And you make very good money, by the way, more than engineers. I have lots of stories to tell you. Okay, so the College of Architecture, Design and Construction, one of the best, one of the finest in the country. This is why the homes in Auburn are so pretty. If you come to Auburn, let me know and I'll host you at my place. Very, very nice homes, because most of the builders are not like kind of somebody who just happened to be a worker who advanced to become a builder. Most of them have degrees from Auburn that know how to build very, very well. And that's important, of course. The College of Business is another very important college here at Auburn, and Ziyun is actually studying accountancy. They have maybe 15 different majors in business, and I'll let Ziyun tell you all about business, okay? And part of the College of Business is the aviation program. We have an excellent aviation program. We have a supply chain management program which is ranked 7th in the country. We have several programs that are ranked in the top 10 to the top 50 in the country as part of Lauder, the College of Business. Also collaborations with China. We have lots of collaborations with China as part of the College of Business. Okay, engineering, I'm going to get back to it later, but that's my college. Sciences and Mathematics, or COSAM. This is, of course, everything that has to do with science, biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, and it goes all the way down to pre-med, pre-veterinary medicine, pre-pharmacy, you study as part of COSAM. All right, so they have beautiful facilities as well. The College of Liberal Arts, everything that has to do with liberal arts, music, theater, and the College of Education. Education, very important. Speech therapy, education, languages. You're talking about French, English, German, Spanish, etc. Education, how to teach, how to develop better teachers. So lots of majors there. Again, when I say 140, I was going through the list once and twice and 3 times, tried to memorize all of them. 140, it's a lot, it's a big list, and they're distributed over different colleges. Human sciences, very important as well. Pharmacy, we have a very good pharmacy school that's ranked in the top 10. And when we look at distributions, engineering, business, and education are very big, and the others are spread around the remaining campus, the remaining colleges. In terms of rankings, and do not quote me on that, this could be a couple of years old, we have several that are ranked in the top. But see, I tell you, I don't care about the ranking, because the ranking is a lot of times driven by funding. How much money but how much money is being involved does not necessarily mean value for the students. What is important is the quality of education. Whether we are trying to hire the best teachers or just the best researchers, not paying attention to the quality of teaching. Because when you send us students, students come to learn first and foremost. And that's it, period. College of Engineering, my favorite college, of course. And this is my boss, by the way. He is the most charismatic faculty member I've ever met in my life. He used to be just like myself. We're about the same age. And our resumes mirror each other. He was in chemical engineering, I was in aerospace engineering. And we have an outstanding relationship. I have great affection toward him. He's a fantastic leader, administrator. I wish I could be half as good as he is. He was an associate professor, which is kind of mid-grade, when he was made chair of chemical engineering. He turned that department around. Now it's ranked in the top chemical engineering department in the country. They have about 600, 700 students. That's more than aerospace engineering. That's more than, it's a large department. Hundreds of graduate students, every faculty in his department, he got them so inspired. They're all working 24/7 building up that college. He's just a phenomenal man. He does not have a single flaw. He's just sometimes a little too nice. But other than that, he is just phenomenal. And he really is inspirational. So since he's been part of the college, we've received millions and millions and millions of dollars in donations. We have new buildings. Every couple of years we have 2 or 3 buildings being built, erected. So let's take an example. This is the engineering quadrant. These buildings are already gone. In a couple of years, there's going to be a student center. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, so this is a new center, as though we didn't have enough centers. So this is totally focused on student development, formation, teams, competition, make sure that the students are getting the best value when they come to Auburn. Okay, so you're interested in rankings. Here are our rankings. Our online program at the graduate level is ranked 6th in the nation. So if you have customers that cannot fly all the way to the US because they're professionals, they work, they cannot leave their job, because if they leave their job, they probably won't find it when they come back. They can get their masters and PhDs online. We offer the 6th highest ranked graduate program, but it's only 9 fields right now, mostly engineering and business. 7th in the number of degrees awarded to African Americans. This does not apply a lot in China. I know you don't have a very large African American population in China, but we're kind of proud of that, because we try to promote diversity. And 42nd in research expenditures in no particular order, 25th largest in enrollment. That says a lot. Okay, we're the 25th largest college in the United States in terms of enrollment. We have a lot. And we can double that if we wanted to, but we want to maintain quality. Okay, so chemical engineering, this is a photo taken from some of the faculty and students in chemical engineering, received numerous awards, working on some advanced chemical molecular composition that I know very little about. Okay? In terms of size, we have about 5,500 total students, about 1,000 graduates and 4,600 undergraduates. We have 175 faculty. Most of them are tenured, and the student to faculty ratio is about 26. Remember, university-wide, that ratio is 18. In engineering, we have, we're absorbing more students, so the student to faculty ratio is a little bit higher, but we're trying to adjust. We're hiring many more faculty, about 50 faculty in the next 3 years, so we're hoping to drop from 26 to 21. And if we continue in that direction, we're hoping to come back to about 18. This is very significant. By the way, you see that guy down there? That's myself, okay? And you're going to see that slide. This is louder, okay, the largest room in the business school. And we use that to introduce aerospace engineering to our freshmen. We typically have about 1,200 freshmen. And this is a non-credit course, so students just go there to attend like seminars. Otherwise, we split them up in smaller sections. So we split about 1,000 into 4 sections of 250 each to give them seminars, okay? So this is a seminar course, it's not graded. But nonetheless, you get an idea. We have a lot of just beautiful students, delightful, they're fantastic to work with. Their ACT entry level is 28.8, that's 1 point below Vanderbilt. Their entry GPA is 3.9 from high school. So when students come from China, they're rubbing shoulders, they're working hand in hand with some of the brightest kids in America, okay? That's really significant. Now, they can go to Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt, if you look at the cost at Vanderbilt, it's about 5 times our cost. So, okay, academic programs, we have 11 different degrees in engineering. Most of them, all of them, are very relevant to China because China is industrialized and China is growing rapidly. So if you look at wireless engineering, for example, we have a unique degree in wireless engineering. Not many schools offer that. Electrical is very, very big and very successful. Most of these departments are successful. We have a unique program in polymer and fiber engineering or textile engineering for chemical products, okay? How to handle polymer, fibers. Chemical engineering, it's very much connected with chemical engineering. Mechanical, industrial, systems, electrical, computer science and software. We have many different areas. Again, our funding per year is about 62 million. It keeps going up, and we've been ranked in the top 50 in the country in terms of research. Now, why do I talk about graduate research a little bit? Because, of course, it matters. Today, when you are an undergrad, if you're coming to any university, you want outstanding teaching. That's your #1 priority. But you also want to have opportunities to work with graduate students. You want opportunities to be able to work on interesting, exciting research, or really opportunities to work with faculty on challenging yourself, on getting yourself engaged in activities that will hone your skills and improve your capabilities. So research does help in promoting that. We have a very active student abroad program. Some of our students go to various countries. We have a very active program with China, by the way, exchange program with China. In civil engineering, for example, we have constant flux of students coming from China. And we are very happy with their performance. They tend to be some of our best graduates. We have lots of strategic research areas that are currently the points of focus in energy and the environment, cybersecurity and information technology. I know this is very important for China. Biomedical and pharmaceutical engineering, that's very important for China as it evolves and advances. Engineered materials and nanotechnology and advanced manufacturing and additive manufacturing, where you are doing layer by layer kind of laser printing. And also we have expertise in cybersecurity. Recently, the governor of the state of Alabama declared wanting Alabama to become #1 in unmanned aerial vehicles or unmanned aerial systems. So we have put a lot of emphasis on developing teams and committees and researchers that work in groups to develop leadership in this field. Okay, this is our #2 man in the College of Engineering, Dr. Ralph Z. He's originally from Taiwan, and he's a fantastic researcher. That's why he's the Dean for Research. And we have a very strong base in Huntsville. This is a meeting we had last year with 200 of our students that graduated from Auburn and became managers and leaders. We call them our alumni. Okay, so alumni refers to our graduates, right? I think everybody knows that. So we are sitting here. This is myself, by the way. You see that? I'm wearing the same suit I'm wearing today. And next to me is John Cochran, with white hair. He was the former chair who retired 3 years ago. And next to us is the dean. I don't know if you recognize him right there in the back. And so Dr. Z we're really lucky to have him. He's very active. He's as energetic as an 18-year-old. We want him never to retire, okay? So Ralph, if you hear me, I don't want you to retire. So we have lots of project-based activities that involve our students. We make them our core emphasis. So their students are not just taking courses, but they are involved in a variety of projects that are very, very provoking, thought-provoking, and character building. They develop team spirit, better capabilities in manufacturing, in building, in welding, in hands-on, important capabilities that are becoming, unfortunately, forgotten. So we compete in the Baja race competition every year, and we've been national champions many times over. Also, we have very strong emphasis on senior design, building vehicles. This is our rocketry team, the 08 team last year. We started with 70 universities. We ended up with only 16 that made the final cut. And we had our travel team, or 08 team. We carried our rocket. We went to Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah, and we launched our rocket from the Bonneville Flats. I'll have other pictures to show you later on. And this is the team. You remember Alex, Lynn, Jacob, Bethany, AJ, Luke, Cassie, and Benjamin, and me. So here we have examples of engineering-built water purifiers that are being deployed in Uganda to help impoverished towns that are not getting good water with that. Okay, so we're providing free water purifiers. And the students are doing that. We are very active with Engineers Without Borders, the society that sends our students to places like Bolivia, where they help with the irrigation, with supplying piping systems to, again, impoverished and underprivileged towns. This is, again, part of that group in Bolivia. Another very unique activity, you don't see that at places like Georgia Tech and MIT. You don't, okay, because they're very much focused on their graduate research, not their undergraduate. We have something called the Engineering Research Showcase. So our students are encouraged every year to participate in it. We get about 200 posters. A poster is simply like a paper presentation. The students, again, does not matter what field they're from. The students are encouraged to present their work to the rest of the college. So the rest of the college is attending. We go around, we judge them, and then we award the winners different types of certificates and plaques and monetary rewards. The person who actually started that is Dr. Brian Thoreau, who is my assistant chair. He's the assistant chair of aerospace engineering. And you know, I told you a little bit about our graduate online program. I'm going to zip through it. It's not too relevant to today's discussion, but it's an important, it really attracts a different group of professionals. But it's very well run. It's ranked 6th in the nation, and it only offers graduate degrees in aerospace, chemical, civil, computer science, electrical, industrial and systems, materials, mechanical, and a dual MBA and Masters in International Systems Engineering, which is very important, as you know. And again, the advantage is here. You can do it without leaving China. You can do it from your home. And this is our dean. Again, I wanted to start with him and end with him. This presentation is actually his. I just tweaked it a little bit. Chris Roberts, the greatest dean in the country. And I have served under many deans. I've known many deans. I've known the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I've never seen anybody as capable, as with more admirable qualities than Chris Roberts. It's really an honor to work with him. And his vision is focused on promoting the most outstanding student-centered education in the United States. So if a student needs help and comes to see him, he's going to help them. Okay, he's really that good. Okay, so we talked about engineering. Let's switch to aerospace. Okay, the Aero program. Aero. Okay, Aero. Many of our students confuse the two. So our symbol is the arrow. Okay. There is actually a TV program with arrow, like he wears a green hood and he runs and he shoots arrows, right? The Green Arrow. Have you heard of the Green Arrow? It's like a, well, never mind. It doesn't exist, okay, like Santa. Okay, Santa does not exist. So, but arrow and the arrow, you know, that's the common thing. Okay.
That's your favorite part, come on.
Yeah, this is my favorite part, I guess. So, okay, let's talk about aerospace engineering. It's the second oldest in the country. All right, the Wright brothers, when they started, this is where they went to work. So it goes back to 1903. Wilbur and Orville Wright, you know, the Wright brothers, as they call them. Do you know why they call them Wright brothers? Because their names are so odd. You know, nobody names their children anymore Wilbur and Orville. It's like the names of bicycles. We always refer to them as the Wright brothers, right? So really, it's really an honor to be the department head. And you know what's so unique? They only had 4 department heads in history before I came. So every department head is department head until they usually either die or cannot stand anymore, okay? And, well, I hope I'll, well, we'll see. So we are about 12% of the College of Engineering. We're very proud. Once upon a time, back during the space race, we used to be the largest department in the College of Engineering. Can you imagine that? Aerospace is usually a subspecialty. It's part of mechanical. In most colleges, mechanical and aerospace are blended into one, and aerospace is usually just a small part of that department, but not at Auburn. We have our own building, we have our own courses, and what that means, that translates into better value for your students. If you go to universities, and I came from Tennessee, by the way, in Tennessee, mechanical and aerospace and biomedical are one program. We call it the maybe department. And the joke is like maybe, maybe not. You know, maybe we are a department, maybe we are not. But the name of the department is maybe. Mechanical, aerospace, and biomedical engineering. So much so that biomedical said, look guys, everybody's making fun of us. Let's split up and call it the, you know, iPhone, the IBME and May. Okay, so we'll have May, and anyways, I don't know what they're doing now, I left. So, but what happens, because you are blended with another department, you cannot focus on providing the courses that will provide the best value for your students. I'm going to give you concrete examples. I'm not making this up because I'm familiar with the system very well. I've been doing it all my life. Why aerospace at Auburn is the best in the country. Chemical is also very strong. That's the green. 20%, that's always mechanical, is always the biggest. Now we have over 1,000 students in mechanical. Mechanical, like, almost too much, okay? But the department head in mechanical said, please, don't bring me more students, okay? We have a lot. Let's get the faculty first, but all the other departments need students. You look at aerospace engineering, we have been steadily growing, which is amazing. Why? Because the next 20 years are fantastic years for aerospace engineers. Aerospace engineering is one that pays among the best paying fields out there, and also the ones that provide the most job security. When you are working in aerospace engineering, most companies will give you a pension after you retire. So you don't have just your retirement, but also pension until the person dies and their wife dies and their children die, and you know, until they're 26 usually. But it's an excellent program, and the reason we keep seeing this growth is because of the market. Suddenly there's a big shortage in aerospace engineers. Why? Because those that have been aerospace engineers for a long time, refusing to retire, have gotten to the point where they're starting to drop like flies, okay? All of a sudden we have openings in lots of companies where they are finding the need to hire aerospace engineers. All of our graduates are getting jobs immediately. This was the spring semester graduation. Every semester we graduate a number of students, typically 60, and in the off semester we graduate maybe 30, about 100 a year. And they are hired immediately, because why? Auburn graduates are extremely heavily sought after, okay? If you are from Auburn, you are going to receive a lot of attention, and you're going to essentially be guaranteed to receive at least several offers before you finish your degree. This is our building. It's a standalone. So we have our own course curriculum. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, why it provides such great value. And we also, our professional society is the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. It's one of the most prestigious in the United States. It's much more prestigious than ASME, the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. It's a lot easier, for example, to become a fellow of ASME. I'm a fellow of ASME, but I'm only an associate fellow in AIAA. Publishing a paper in ASME is very easy. Publishing a paper in AIAA is a lot harder. It's comparable to IEEE. If any of you have heard of the IEEE organization in electrical engineering. Beautiful building, blue sky. By the way, that was like a cloudy day. And we have airplane model built. These are student-built airplanes and rockets displayed. And the arrow, okay, or the our symbol, all right, the arrow program. So why we are unique? Unlike Georgia Tech or places like MIT. MIT has not competed. We don't see them make the final cut because they don't have a big emphasis on design, build, fly. So the design, build, fly competition, I'll tell you more about it in a little bit, consists of student teams getting together and building a unmanned aerial vehicle. It's an aircraft that is radio controlled, and they go every year and compete in Wichita, Kansas, or Tucson, Arizona. It alternates every year. We are also part of the NASA University Student Launch Initiative. NASA also promotes that. The other one is promoted by AAA. So we go compete in building and launching of rockets. We have many other activities, but these are mostly run by mechanical engineering. You're familiar with the Baja vehicle and so forth. But we also are very big on promoting student papers and team papers in the Southeast. So we compete every year in the Southeast. In fact, the day I return from here, the next day I'm going to go to Savannah, Georgia, where we're competing this year in April of every year. So this is Aura, the Auburn University Rocketry Association. I'm the faculty advisor. This is our student coordinator who helps advising. He's almost as tall as the rocket. He's a really tall man. And he's taller than me. And this is Cassie. You saw her. She's one of the poster kind of children of the engineering college. She was talking earlier on video, those of you who came here earlier. And we've won last year an achievement award from NASA for our rocket launch. And we are involved, we get students involved in outreach activities. They go to high schools, talk to students. That's great, like what I'm doing right now. They help train teachers, and the teachers in turn train students. And so someone like, for example, Ziyun, who is working in this, let's say that she's on the team, she'll get the opportunity to go and talk, give public speeches, which are very important for her formation, and above and beyond, of course, the courses she takes. So they do a lot of outreach. This is AJ Pollard, who's the president of the AIAA Society. I think we still have this thing muted.
Usually,
yeah.
probably be complaining.
So he was featured on different news channels. And again, this is the away team. We went all the way to the Bonneville Salt Flats. This is where the speed of sound was broken on land. Remember, flat lake that's turned into salt. And we launched our rocket. Pictures showing activities. We bring in high school students and middle school students, and we train them. We teach them about the principles of Newton's law, gravity, rocketry, etc. Try to get them excited. And we host summer camps. In the summer, we're very busy. Starting in June all the way till August, we bus in different groups of students, and we get them involved. And again, students who are with us will get the opportunity to participate whenever they want. The other thing is the AAA Design Build Fly team. I talked about building a radio-controlled aircraft. We do that every year, and we have been national champions many times. Again, you look at places like MIT and Georgia Tech, etc. You don't see them win in these competitions because they don't have enough emphasis. This is last year. Our plane was one of the best. We went to the day of the competition. Many teams could not even get off the runway. There were 30 miles per hour headwinds. So the plane is trying to take off, and it will just move back. It couldn't overcome the headwind and the drag. So ours actually made it. You notice not only it was able to take off, but made it all the way to the end. Some planes could not actually complete the mission because the wind was too strong. Their engine was not strong enough to be able to overcome the wind. So the pilot, the same pilot who pilots all of them, it's radio controlled, said, "This is the nicest, the smoothest plane that I've piloted." So he was really complimentary. And we implement those types of activities as part of our senior design capstone course. I talked about what makes us unique. The emphasis on student success. These are students last year, they went and competed in the Southeast Conference. You've all heard of the SEC. We have SEC football, SEC this, SEC that. Well, the Southeast Conference also has a competition in aerospace engineering. All the schools from 8 states, we're talking Alabama, Georgia, Florida, North and South Carolina, Tennessee, Mississippi, they all compete in this. So you're talking about Embry-Riddle, University of Florida, Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, Clemson, North Carolina, South Carolina, Auburn. Okay, guess who wins every year?
Auburn.
Yes. Okay. So last year we went with 20 students. We had Florida Institute of Technology, Georgia Tech, MSU, many schools, UAH, Huntsville, University of Florida, Memphis, South Carolina, Vanderbilt. And we came back winning the best paper award in the graduate division, the best paper award in the undergraduate division, and so on and so forth. Lauren won last year. In football, we have the Heisman Trophy, right? The team that wins it. In soccer, you have the World Cup, it's gold. And if you win it 3 times, you're supposed to keep it, right? Well, we have something called the Stan Powell Prize. Best paper award, undergraduate division, most heavily contested. There usually are 25 to 30 teams competing. We won it the first year they started using the Stan Powell, prize. We won it in 2013 and in 2014. So we're the only university that's won it 3 times. You notice Mississippi State, Georgia Tech, Alabama, Memphis only won it 1 time. And you notice here, the first, at the end of the column, and then starting a new column here. So we won it the very first time. When we reach the end of the column, we won it again. When we move to the new column, we won it again. I predict, I'm gonna bet like $200, that when we get here, we're gonna be the 4 corners of the undergraduate. But I'm gonna cheat, of course, because I hope I'll still be chair by that time. So if I'm department head, when we reach that year, whatever that year is, like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, yeah, I'll be still department head. In 2019, I'm gonna send every student in the world to go compete. I'm gonna bring mechanical, chemical, civil, all of them go compete under aerospace engineering, okay? So we make sure we win that year, okay? Because imagine you get that and then you have all 4 corners being Auburn. Wouldn't that be awesome? I told you about our teachers being exceptionally good. I cannot say enough good things about our teachers. And you can look us up on the internet. Every single professor in aerospace engineering has won numerous teaching awards. Numerous teaching awards, very charismatic. They make teaching their #1 devotion. They're always prepared in class. They're not gonna walk into the classroom completely unprepared because their research project is going in a different direction than what they want. Very good teachers. Dave Seaside last year, he's one of our orbital mechanics professors, won what I call the triple play award. 3 different best teaching awards the same year. Brian Thoreau, on his resume, he has like 2 pages of best teacher awards. This Norm Speakin came actually from Georgia Tech, and not Georgia Tech, no, I can't, from GTRI, Georgia, whatever, Research Institute, right? So he was a researcher and proved to be one of the best teaching faculty as well. So if I look at my own faculty, I'm the worst teacher I'm kind of happy in a way, And again, despite the fact that I'm the worst teacher, I have also 2 pages of best teaching awards. Actually, the first year in my life, I taught at Marquette, which is it is the biggest Jesuit university in the United States, out of 27 Jesuit universities, completely devoted to education. The very first year I taught, I won the best teacher award, and the second year, and then the third year I said, look, enough, give it to somebody else. Okay, so my research is in rocketry, okay? I'm gonna skip over those slides. Vortex engines, these are becoming very popular, and combustion instability, both are national items, critically important. The vortex engine, all the papers published are done by myself and my team. The engine flew spectacularly back in 2012. Okay, so because it flew so well, Sierra Nevada, you know, you've heard of Sierra Nevada, SNC, the Sierra Nevada Corporation, which is very big, bought out Orbitec, the company with which we worked to build this engine. And because they wanted to possess the engine, okay? It's one of the nicest engines ever built. It's driven by a tornado inside of it. It's self-cooled, it's lightweight, it's highly efficient. And okay, I'm not going to sell you the engine today, I'm going to sell you Auburn. So this is my team, co-advising it with Josh Patterson. Our students have been very busy, publishing a lot. We've averaged about 14 publications a year. That's more than, you know, the best Ivy League universities. If you look at MIT and so forth, I don't care, we publish more. And quality before quantity. This is Joseph Fleischman. Let me give you an example. We wrote 8 papers in the last 5 years and used them to compete in the student conference. All 8 won. Not only did they win the region, 2 of them won the nationals. So we won 10 best paper awards out of 8 papers. So this is Joseph Fleischman, that was last year. This is Andrew Fist, he won the nationals. This is $1,000 here, and he was really happy. I was not as happy, I'm kind of, because, you know, we both worked equally hard. Maybe I worked even harder, but I don't get any money. You know? I just get to stand in the photo. This is Brian Godfrey, also won Best Poster. I was so busy, I wasn't even there to shake his hand. You know, I had my colleague Chris Perriger, he's from physics. This is Andrew Fist and Dimitri Kavalakis, who won first and second in 2013 in the AIAA Southeast Conference, SEC. This is Tim Barber, I almost forgot his last name, and Charles Haddad, who won first and second. Charles was really upset. He said, oh, I did better than Tim. I said, okay, relax, Charles. No, I did better. He didn't even finish his presentation. So what happened, he won. They picked his paper from amongst all the losers. All the losers. They picked the best paper of all the losers in the country. He got a national award at SciTech, which is much more important than, and lots of money. They flew him. They told him, we will fly you, you know, to the conference. But then he got a job with Schlumberger as a oil drilling engineer. They sent him to Qatar. So by the time he had to come back, AIAA had to pay for his ticket from Doha, Qatar, all the way back to Texas. They almost went broke, you know, on his plane ticket, but he was really happy. Okay, so this is George. Okay, first place. All of these guys have won. So that tells you we've been very active in that area. Now, another thing that's very unique about our program is our coursework. Because we are a standalone department, we can tailor our course in a manner to make it to bring great value to our students. We teach courses in a variety of areas in aerospace engineering, of course, aerodynamics, orbital mechanics, all these things. But what's very unique is the following. Our students will take 4 courses in aerospace or aero fundamentals. In mechanical engineering, they call them fluid dynamics. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 courses. Now look at the third one. You see this thing called Aero 3, Aerodynamics 3? Although you may not know much about aerospace engineering. But that course covers the book by Frank White called Viscous Fluid Flow. That same book that we cover as an undergraduate. So if you are at Auburn, you basically cover that before you finish your undergraduate BS. That same book is the most advanced book that we use at other universities, like the University of Tennessee, at the PhD level in fluid dynamics. It's the last one you take, and then there are no more courses beyond that, because you would have seen everything. We give 4 courses in fluid dynamics, and to see 4 courses at another university, say Georgia Tech, you would have been at the PhD level. That's why our students are sought after. Same thing with structures. Structural aerospace structures are so important. 1/3 of our engineers are hired as structural engineers. Well, we give 5 courses in structures before they finish. Why? Because we can. We can tailor our coursework in such a way to provide the best value for our students. So our students And not only in structures, we use the same code that NASA uses, which is called NASTRAN. So NASA always is hiring our students when they graduate, and most aerospace companies as well. The next few slides, I'm going to just show you some pictures. I'm not going to comment because we're running out of time, but pictures of projects we've worked on with a variety of aerospace sponsors. Okay, the Orion, Ares, the ISS, space station. We've developed highly efficient panel codes to model unmanned aerial vehicles and different propellers and aircraft, planes, rockets, optimization. We've developed optimization codes. Orbiting objects, satellites and debris, rockets penetrating tanks. Okay, going through a tank, you have to go through 3 layers of steel. An interceptor missile. So basically, this is an interceptor that is going through a rocket that's flying in space. Advanced stuff. Okay, I'm not going to count. Centrifuges. Vorticity, shed off propeller tips. Imaging, advanced imaging with planoptic cameras, light field. You take one picture, you get the same result as that of having 3 different cameras lined up and in a manner to give you a 3-dimensional field capture. So we get that from just one photo. So lots of advantages. Another big advantage is that we have the aviation program at Auburn that teaches professional flight, aviation management, supply chain management, again ranked 7th in the country. We recently received millions of dollars to come up with a new building for that. This is the airport. The flag of Alabama is like red and white, again red. Our engineers, when they graduate, they can expect to be working for a number of companies. What is unique about all these companies, they tend to provide excellent retirement packages. Like if you work, for example, for the government or aerospace industries, you can expect good pay and good benefits, and that's really important. Alabama itself is unique because we have over 300 companies that are scattered all over the state. Huntsville itself is known as the Mecca of aerospace engineering in the country. This is where you have the Redstone Arsenal, NASA Marshall, Dynetics, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, all of them are in Huntsville. Okay, our alumni, we're so proud of our graduate students. Currently, you've heard of the Space Launch System, going to Mars. The leader of that, who has a $2 billion budget, is an Auburn graduate. His name is Todd May. He's our alumni. Number 2 man, Chris Crumbly, is an Auburn graduate. We have many famous guys, okay, so let me go through them. Some of them are Air Force generals, some of them are military officers, astronauts, CEOs, etc. 2 of the most famous are Ken Mattingly and Jim Voss. Jim Voss is the one who spent the most time in outer space. He speaks Chinese and Russian. He's flown the Soyuz. He basically spent time training and getting certified in Russia. And he's a great character. And he spent really the most time in outer space. It's somewhere on the Wikipedia. I forgot how many hours. They count them by the hours. He spent like months. And Ken Mattingly, of course, the man, remember the Apollo 13 movie? Remember there was the guy on the ground who had like the measles, so he could not go on the mission, but he helped them figure out how to come back. If you've seen that movie, if not, watch it again. It's a really good movie. Mark Miller, the one who established the missile system at Dynetics, the one who came up with the Moab. Remember the Moab, the mother of all bombs? It was retrofitted with grid fins. He's the guy who came up with that idea, and he won an award for it. Richard Kretschmar, Army Unmanned Aircraft Systems Executive Officer. Bruce Simpson, Textron Weapon and Sensor System. Tom Williams, great guy, he's the head of propulsion at NASA Marshall. We have other famous alumni, like Tim Cook. How many of you have iPhones, iPads, iPhones or iPads? Everybody in this room, right? So Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. How many of you use the Wikipedia? Okay, the co-founder, okay? Jim Voss, and many others, okay? So we've got, I'm not gonna mention Charles Barkley. I don't know if you like basketball or not, maybe not, but I prefer Michael Jordan. So, okay, so what does aerospace engineering continue to offer? Challenging and exciting jobs, good pay and benefits, great job security. What your starting salary could be in the 60 to 65K, which is above average in engineering. And more importantly, a road to management. Most of those who have only a bachelor's degree have become managers and leaders in the community. I can tell you stories after stories about the various alumni that we've had, and more importantly, a road to scholarship. An example, I'm going to use myself as an example. It was late at night, I was preparing the presentation, I couldn't think of anybody else. Okay? So I started, when I was at the University of Utah trying to get my degree, one of my friends, who was from China by the way, he was an associate professor in chemical engineering. He said, Joe, you're good. I said, no, I'm just finishing up my PhD. How many papers do you have? And he told me, I have 24 papers. I said, oh my God. Man, you have 24 papers? That's impossible. I can't even write one paper. I'm trying to finish my PhD. I don't think I will ever publish one paper. It's impossible. I submit the manuscript, it gets rejected. They tell me, we didn't like you. Or your name is kind of funny, you know, Majdalani. So I said, well, how could you? He goes, well, no, I know you, Joe. You're gonna be good. One day you'll have more than 24. I said, look, if I get more than 24 papers, man, I don't think so. So I ended up with 240 or 250. But it's because of hard work, okay? It's all hard work. Remember we talked about the Auburn Creed. And so I was fortunate, otherwise I wouldn't be where I am today. I'm really honored. And this last year, this is January, like we are what? March or April? We are March. 2 months ago I got the 2015 National Faculty Advisor Award of the Year at SciTech 15, which had 3,000 attendees, the biggest meeting for aerospace engineers in the world. And I got this little, they say the bigger the award, the smaller the pin, you know. And actually it is made in China, you know, it's got like the Chinese symbol. I don't know if you see it, like the flower here that grows in China only. So I carry it, I love that pin. It's really cool. It's right there, do you see it? Okay, all right. And I think I was wearing the same suit, but a different tie, of course. Actually, I was wearing this tie. I went and switched because when they gave me the medal, they give it to you 2 hours before. I looked like a clown, you know, with all the colors, like yellow, blue, orange, red, and so forth. So I went back and put the blue one under it. And it's the color of Ukrainian flag, you know, yellow and blue. All right, so in 2014, I got the Dannenberg Award. Nobody knows who Dannenberg is. Everybody knows who von Braun is. Von Braun is the father of rocketry in the United States, German scientist, but his right-hand man was Konrad Dannenberg. So he was the engineer who designed the Apollo the second stage. And this is 2013. And again, our teams have been featured in over 100 releases. And that's again because of hard work. So at Auburn, we believe in hard work and we live it and we practice it. So when you graduate, what do you expect to do? Okay, you can start practicing. Most of our students do that. Whether you return to China and become a leader in China or you stay in the US, you're welcome to stay. We have programs where we help students get green cards and stay on board. Or stay on and get a master's or a PhD degree, or go get an MBA from the business schools. Yuna is going to tell you all about the business school. Or go get a law degree, make a lot of money. So in general, you start with an above average salary, which is very good. But it's not that, it's the excitement. The stuff we do in aerospace engineering is spectacular. Some time ago, we used to think that flying was impossible, right? Only flying carpets and so forth. So we really, the stuff we deal with is a lot of fun, and we're very happy with it. Okay, so that's all I have. Thank you so much.